Good morning. Right then, I'm just going to put my bit of sectioning into this doll to start with, and I'll flip the camera through so everybody can see the sectioning that I've done. Right then. So I have literally just sectioned it down the back. In the middle parting. I've gone down to sort of underneath the crown area. So normally how deep this is in the head, let me see if I can just show you. So we've gone sort of midway, so just above where the occipital bone would be, probably about an inch above that, and I've followed that all the way through on the sides and left. You can see it's about an inch deep at the front on each side of the ear. So this is the cut that we did where we left all the bottom heavy, but we really layered the top. So I'm just going to go through this cut now with you and show you kind of like a mullet version. So we're going to take all the weight out through this back section, and we're going to cut the top quite short. So it's not going to completely disconnect it from each other, but it's going to be about changing the angles as you go through the hair. So I'm going to start with the top section. So I'm just going to clip these back ones out of my way, back and sides. Just to make sure it doesn't get caught up in those top sections. So I'm going to start at the top of the head, so just above the crown area. Then I'm going to let these sides down, and I'm just going to clip the side sections again out of my way, so these front sections, just to keep it a bit cleaner as you're working through. So all that front is clipped forward. The light seems really bad in here today. See if I can. Is that a bit better? There we go. I think that's a That should be a little bit better for you. That, I think so. Right. So through this top section then, so looking at the length we've got now, we've still got sort of a good 6-8 inches on there. So we're going to take this down quite short through the top. So I'm going to just take my first section through here, and I'm just going to pick it up and have a look at how much weight we've got through there. So I don't know why the light's gone so bad. Sorry. So I'm going to take this down about half. So we're going to keep it to around about 4 to 5 inches long on this top area. Everything that I'm going to cut today, I'm going to point cut it rather than club cut it, because I don't want any sort of blunt, heavy lines in the hair at all. So that's about half of that length off through there. Now through all of this back section, I'm going to work exactly like a uniform layer. So everything is coming up to the 90-degree angle. So that's completely elevated out from the root of the head, all coming out. No drag to it. I'm making sure each section I pick up, I've got a guide from my previous section, and then as I'm going in, I'm point cutting it. Next week is when I need to go back into college and finish off some students that need to come in to finish. So there won't be any live lessons next week, unfortunately. I'm going to do one. So obviously today I'm going to do one on Wednesday and on Friday for you. So today I'm going to do a cut on this doll. I have had a couple of requests of hair up come in that people want to see a couple of things, which is fine. So I'm going to do a hair up on Wednesday, and then on Friday we're going to do some panel colouring on this doll that I'm cutting now. So I'm just finishing off this back section then. So again, still keeping it 90 degrees. And I'm point cutting it as I go. So before I start my live lessons, I always sort of take a few screenshots of styles that kind of I get my inspiration from, and what I like the look of. The other ones that I've seen are a bit shorter than this, so I might end up taking it slightly shorter, but let's see how we go. A lot of them were cut around the ear. I'm not going to do that with you today. I'm going to keep it to a longer style, but I will I'll share those screenshots with you after, so you can see where I'm sort of picking up that bit of inspiration from. Just a bit of hair there. Right then, so I'm just going to check I'm all even. A tiny bit on this side. So I'm just going to go through and cross-check this quickly. And again, because I'm point cutting it, I'm not looking for that perfect line that we are when we're club cutting it. But if there are any sort of overhanging big fringy bits, I'm just going to clear them away. Right, so that is now this back section done. Just going to have a quick fiddle with these lights because they're not. See if that's a bit better for you. So as you can see through here, we've got now the concave in shape of the head coming in because this is all cut at 90. Okay, so this is now completely disconnected to the rest of the back, but we're going to leave it like that for a moment. So I'm now going to, let's see if I angle my camera a different way, that's better. There we go. I think that should be better for you. So I'm just going to work my way now. Again, these bottom bits of the sides are still clipped up, so they're not interfering with the rest of the cut that we're doing. Just going to spray a little bit more water. Through. So I'm going to work like we would again with our uniform layer. So I'm going to follow this sort of down the centre and taking a sliver, and I'm going to work my 90 degrees as I go through. So from the previous cut that's on here, we texturized the fringe quite a bit, so you might find that there's not too much to come off as we work it forward. So now I've got that centre sliver section, I'm going to put the middle parting in. And I'm going to work it just like we do with the uniform layer, picking up a guide from the back bit that we've just cut and the centre piece that's on top. And again, I'm still point cutting. So naturally, the shorter the hair is on humans, it naturally falls forward. So the shorter and shorter it goes, the more it falls towards the face. Obviously on adult head, we have to encourage this a little bit more because of the way that they're plugged. And I've just got this final section through here. I'm just still lifting up 90 degrees. So this is all about not changing the angle at all. So everything is 90 degrees. Obviously, as the head shape changes, you just need to work with that, making sure it is elevated from that root area coming forward. So I'm just going to, again, cross-check what I've just cut. Lovely. And then I'm going to do the same again on this side. So working from that center section that we put in and with the back section that we've already cut. So my body position has changed, whereas I was stood behind on that side. I'm sort of more in front on this side. And that's because I'm right-handed. And again, every section I'm picking up, I can see my previous section. I wouldn't ever cut any hair without the guide in there. And then I'm just going to finish off through here. So I'm just working really carefully as I'm going down towards the sides that we've got pinned out the way, making sure what I'm picking up, I'm not grabbing anything from underneath. I'm just going to spray this down slightly. And I'm going to just cross-check what I just cut. So for those of you that haven't heard the term cross-check, maybe from level 1, it just means that I'm going back in the opposite direction. So if you've cut the hair vertically, you cross-check it horizontally. And if you've cut the hair horizontally, you're going to cross-check it vertically. All right, there we go. So that's the whole of that top section now done. So just to recap what I did, I've started on the crown area where I've taken everything 90 degrees and I've followed the head shape with that angle. I've not changed the angle at all through this top section, but as the head shape changes, obviously where it elevates from the root, the head shape changes in the structure of your cutting. The angle doesn't change, it's the head shape. Okay, so that whole top section is now done, and what we're going to look at now is texturizing through this top. So I'm just going to mute my mic as I dry it off. There we go. Right. So I'm going to texturize the top first of all with my razor. When we go into the sides, I'm gonna I think I have done it in another cut, but I'm gonna go back over, sort of scooping the weight out with the scissors, and then we're gonna do a little bit of texturizing with the thinning scissors as well after. So I'm just going to work through the fringe area. I hope I'm not going to block the camera too much. And I'm just really going to work loads of weight out of what's falling onto the face. So I really want to sort of concave it around this face area. I'm going to take it quite short to the forehead. So I don't know if mullets kind of are ever going to edge back. We're still quite heavy and solid with the cuts at the moment. Everyone's still liking the real blunt look of the one lengths and the, you know, the heavy bobs that sort of sit on the shoulder. But I mean, these definitely come back. God, I'm trying to think. 2003, I think the mullet come back for sort of that summer season of having a real textured, soft hairstyle. Yeah, I did have one, but it was very cool at the time. But I think that's the thing with fashion; it's always going to come back around at some point. So learning these cuts is really great. Some people, I think, when sort of the feather cut come out and sort of the mullets back in the day, in the 80s, when they really, really were big, a lot of people did the whole cut with the razor. I think as scissors have got a lot better over time, that you can use sort of the scooping technique, because the scissors are serrated now and things like that. They're not snagging at the hair, they're not pulling at the hair. So again, it is about building your confidence with the razor. And if you need to use other techniques in between, it's good to sort of know them. So I'm just working all this heavy weight that's still sitting on the face area out. I swear my neighbours still think I'm cutting everybody's hair for the amount of hair I cut off and put in my bin each week. I'm not. Right then, so I'm just going to go through the whole of the top layer that's falling through and follow it around with my razor, again taking a lot of the weight out of this top layer that's going to fall heavy on the rest. So a lot of people don't like to raise the wet hair. You can, but it is better when you do it dry, because the weight of the water obviously adds more weight to the hair. So you don't want to take too much out that you can't see the natural fall. So that's pretty much the top inside's done on this. I'm just going to sweep up some of the hair because I'll end up slipping over. And now we're going to have a look at sort of joining in the sides and back that we pinned up and out the way. So these are now sitting really, really heavy compared to the rest of the hair, and it is completely disconnected, which, you know, again, if somebody wants that disconnected mullet look, you could go for something like this, and it's pretty cool. The sides look thinner because obviously they got less hair on them anyway. So we haven't got to do too much to those sides. So it's more about the back here. I'm hoping everybody can see this all right. I can see there's a bit of a glare in the camera. So just going to start off in this middle section. So I'm just going to pin this bit of hair up and out the way on each side. Again, trying to keep myself working really neatly. So you can see as all this falls through, all this hair is completely not connected at all, the difference between these two sections. So what we're going to do is we are going to try and retain this length here, but as you can see, as the angle falls, it falls into this type of angle. So this hair is sitting at the same length through here. So there's no layer or anything through this section at the moment. So we need to completely change that. We need to try and link this and take away all the weight in between. So we're going to be taking off the majority of this through here. So I'm going to do that by lifting this section out and pinching it up. So you can see that this section here has got a bit more direction up into where we're meeting this top layer. So I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to open up, I've got quite a firm hold on this, and I'm just going to stand on the thing so it doesn't move, and I'm serrating my scissors, only moving my thumb on my scissors as I work the hair down and taking out the in-between. So I'm going to work that onto my next section. I'm going to move it around so I can show you again. I'm going to bring that section out, pinch it. So you are elevating that bottom layer. You've got more lift through here, up to where the top layer ends. I'm going to go in with my scissors, and I'm doing a very, very tiny movement with my thumb all the way down and taking all that section off. So I could say to you, you know, lift all this up and cut it in, but actually just by serrating the scissors down, you're creating exactly the same effect. You're not getting so much of a uniform cut by doing it this way, and actually that adds a bit more texture and diversity to this cut, which is quite nice. So just moving around again, doing exactly the same. All through that section. Right, just going to finish it off on this side because that is now working into the other side. I'm not actually sure I'm going to be able to cut it at that angle, so I'll move that. And then the last section. So again, I'm just going to go through this back section and cross-check what I've done just to make sure there aren't any massive difference in where I'm cutting. And if there is anything, I'm just going to point cut it out slightly, okay? I'll just show me doing that on this side. So as I'm pulling this section out, I've got a little bit here from where this one ends to this one, and a slight white line in between. So I'm just point cutting that so it's a little bit more even. Again, because of the technique, it's not going to be uniform, but I think for this cut, you know, that's fine, that doesn't matter. So now what we want to do is kind of completely take all this side section out, and we want to graduate it from the back that we cut into the front shaping that we put into the face here and here. So it's going to have a real big angle through it, and then a lot of weight out as well. So I'm going to split this into two. I'll clip that front section up out of the way. As you can see, because obviously we only left an inch thick through the sides, where there was about 6 inches through the back, it's a lot thinner anyway. So this is going to take out quite a lot of that hair. So same action. I've combed it up to where that top layer is finishing. I'm going in from where that layering has stopped, and I'm gliding my scissors down and taking out what's in between. So it looks like I'm changing this slightly, but it's not because I'm just working at a slightly higher angle, because the sides are obviously set a little bit higher up. I'm really sort of chewing these scissors through all this section and then taking off what's in between. So you can see how it's now got that corner off through here, and it's connecting into the back. I'm just going to do the same on this side. Again, you can see the hair's really thin through here, but it still is too weighty. So we're doing the same again. I'm going to break this into two. So the only hair that's falling through is the hair that's been cut and taken off. I'm not letting anything slip through my fingers. It's only what's been cut is falling away. I'm lifting that section up again, pinching it up to where that layer finishes. And then I'm going in with so obviously we still want sort of a fairly symmetrical look, that it's falling to the face quite evenly. So I'm just going to check that we've got that in there. So this side is slightly longer through these tips on the end, so I'm just going to razor that out and get rid of that. And then I'm just going to blast it through, and I'm probably just going to razor out the very bottom of this, because to me it's still looking a little bit too solid through the last few inches. So I'm just going to go through that. So I'm just going to blast it off a little bit first and mute my mic again. There we go. So then through this back section, you can see through here, this looks really kind of like texturized and soft. And then this bit here is still a little bit too solid. So I'm just going to go through that with the razor. So I'm just going to meet it more eye level. And I'm going to start in the middle section, and again I'm just going to elevate the hair slightly, not as much, and then I'm literally just scooping my razor through it. So working about an inch thick on each section. All right. So I've just gone through and thinned out these ends a little bit more. I'm just going to now work my thinning scissors through them slightly as well. So I'm just going to twist these ends, and I'm going to go down with my thinning scissors, taking a little bit more weight out. So I'm twisting the hair so I don't get any solid line left in it at all. And then through this front section, I'm literally just going to lift it up with my thinning scissors, pop my comb in, and I'm going to go up from there, and I'm just going to scissor over comb. Again, to lift the weight out away from the face so she isn't drowned in hair that's fallen. And again, scissor over comb is about moving the scissors faster than the comb. So just hooking the hair up, feeding it into the comb, and just making sure that they're working really nice and fast through the hair, not leaving any lines. And then I'm just going to go through this top section. I'm just going to twist it and take out those final ends that I haven't particularly picked up. I can just see I've got a little bit of weight here as well. So I'm going to go again, scissor over comb, and just take out that slight weight line that I'm just seeing in my eye. Again, got a little bit through here. There we go. So yeah, pretty happy with that now. So again, just want to check that it's falling fairly evenly, which it is through here. I even think we could probably take a little bit more out of these sides. So I'm just going to whip my thinning scissors down them. Yes, better. Right, going to take a tiny bit more out of this side. So again, I'm just twisting it. I'm going in. Beautiful. Right, so that's pretty much the cut done then. So now it's all about the styling and everything and finishing it off. So I'm going to use a little bit of dry powder through this, and then I'm probably just going to get, again, I don't want anything too heavy in it product wise, so I'm going to avoid a wax or a gum, anything that's got sort of the weight of the water and stuff in it. I'm going to use sort of like a moulding matte clay to texturize the ends. I'm going to use a powder to give the root hold, and then a bit of spray and everything after. So I'm going to dress it out, and then I'll take a few photos of it for you, and I'll put it up on our group feed, and you can see, hopefully with a bit of better light, a more up close finish. But what I will do is I'll just flip the camera around so you can see. I mean, she's lost a considerable amount of hair this morning, to be fair. Let's flip us around. Oh no, I haven't flipped. I've turned it off. There we go. So we can see we've got all this texture up through here, and that was the scissor over comb with the thinning scissors just finishing off that ends for us. And then through the sides, still got the length there, but it's just really, really textured, really, really soft, and then falling through the rest of the hair. So this was all cut, if you remember, with the 90 and then textured, and then we've just scooped all the way out the rest of it, and then thin and scissored the ends to give it a bit more texture, and again through this side as well. There we go. So she did lose a good amount of hair. So yeah, I will finish that all off then and send pictures over of just finishing it with a bit of product to give it a bit of hold and show the texture slightly bit better. And then on Friday we'll go in and maybe do some like panel colouring to give sort of some flashes of colour through and break the cut up a little bit more, because it is so solid with the brown. It might just show it off a little bit better as well. So thank you for joining me today. Like I say, I'll do a hair up on this one where we did the colour melt last week. It does look really lovely. So we went from the previous lifted colour, which was the bleach, into the copper and then into the red. So it's just a bit of a different ombre. So it's not just that brown and blonde and breaking it up. So I'll do a hair up on her on Wednesday for you. And then we'll go back to doing a bit of a fashion colour on the mullet. Thank you for joining. Has anybody got any questions? No? Okay, so like I say, I'm going to do the Wednesday and the Friday for you, and then I'll probably cancel the ones for the week after, just because I'm going to be quite busy that week and in college teaching. So yeah, I will hopefully see you all on Wednesday. I'll upload the pictures in the next hour or so, and then I'll see you Wednesday. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.
Bye.